All right, guys, it is 1:55. So to respect y'all's time, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining on the last session. Today, we're going to be going over Curie Pod, some smart strategies for RLA success. My name is Annahiz Cortez, and I am currently a fourth grade teacher at Palacios Elementary. A little bit about myself. I love to travel. I just spent 2.5 weeks this summer traveling, going to 2 national parks. I love being out in nature, hiking. Earth is just beautiful to go and explore. I'm starting my 16th year as a teacher, with 10 years being in PSJA. I love to learn new things on how to integrate technology through TikTok. So it's a tool as well, not just me scrolling through it. I learned about Curie Pod last year and I started implementing it. My kids loved it, so I wanted to share it with you guys. We're going to start with a Curie Pod introduction where you will be acting as a student. So you'll see the student side of it. I know sometimes as teachers, that's the scariest part is we can see how like we see it on our side, but not necessarily on how the students are going to participate with it or how the students site looks like. So we're going to start with that. And then we're going to move on to creating a Cruipod account if you don't have one, and then showing you how to access, how to create your own Cruipod lessons. And finally, you'll have time on your own to create your own lessons so you're ready for next year, anything that you have in mind, and I'll be available for questions. Okay. So for this activity, we're going to go ahead and work on an SER. You'll see on my screen, both screens. So you'll see the student screen and the classroom screen. What you see, sorry, okay. If you can, go ahead and log into curie.live, and then that's your code. So this is what the students are going to see. Where it says classroom screen, that's what you are going to be projecting on your new line. You can also copy the code and then add it to their Google Classroom if it's easier. And then they can just click on that link. If you notice as you're writing in your PIN, it's going to ask you for your real name, okay? And then it's going to create a fun little nickname for you. That way students are you know who the student is, but the students don't know who they are unless some of them are be like, that's me. And you'll have students that do that. If you want to click on that link in the chat, that way you're able to log in. Okay, for sake of time, we're going to go ahead and get started. So when you create a lesson, it's going to give what it is. So this is pre-made. I did not personally create it, right? The Curie Pod generated this lesson for me. So it's an SER. It's going to be an informational passage, and it's going to be on national parks. You'll start off with your objective. So today we will read a passage, write an SCR, get a score and feedback, and then reflect and discuss, revise to improve. If you talk to your students about this, if you answer it correctly, you get 1 point. If you cite your evidence, you get another point. So the max total that you can get is 2 points. So our goal, right, is to get 2 points. On your student screen, you'll see where it says focus, slides, material. Slides will follow along with what I'm looking at. Material, you'll be able to go back to that story at any time. Okay, so that's good to know because your students are going to ask, where's the story? So you'll know there. Go ahead and click on the story. For the story, you can have your students read it individually, read it in groups and pairs, read it out loud, have, you know, boys read one sentence, girls read another sentence, however you want to incorporate reading this story. At the beginning, I would read it to them, and then gradually it was popcorn read, and then group read, partner read, and by themselves. So gradually letting go. I'm going to give you guys some time. Go ahead and read the passage. Right? I know some of you might not be done. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and continue. Your next slide is going to be just trying to get some type of engagement for your students. What is something that you relate to in the text? You'll have a timer, a preset timer here. You can add more time, take away more time. It's up to you. Once you start the timer, you can always stop it if you notice that everybody's done, or if you notice that they're taking too long to answer, that's fine too. So you notice on the student screen, you'll see what is something you relate to in the text, and then you can just type. On the classroom screen, if you notice, you'll see that you can add 1 minute, or you could just end the activity right away. Thank you to those that are participating. I have 3 responses. I'm going to go ahead and end the activity. And then you'll be able, there's only 7 answers, so you'll be able to vote on which one you thought was the most relatable. So you see in the student one, most relatable collection. I love nature and exploring. It's what they can relate to with somebody else. So these are just engagement activities prior to writing, just to get them interested, just to hook them in. And you can have some conversations about it, like, oh, we had 7 boats that enjoy exploring and admiring nature. Like, that's cool. And you can build on that conversation or just have it in the back end and you can bring it back up later. Next, we have our actual SER question, right? So what are the main reasons national parks are important? Support your answer with evidence from the text. This is where if your students are on the slide screen, if you notice on the student screen, they're going to see what you have projected on the board. Before, I always have them go to materials, open up the text before I even start the timer. That way everybody's already on ready to read the paragraph again, the passage again, and they're able to find that evidence. At the beginning, we work on it together. Well, we kind of identify what the main reasons are, and then they will write on their own, eventually leading to them writing it on their own. Okay. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and start activity. Give you guys 5 minutes. You can answer like one of your high students, one of your bubble students, one of your low students, depending on how you want, what feedback you want to look at. What's awesome about this is that it's individualized feedback for each of your students, so they're able to learn from their own mistake, and it's not generalized for everybody. If you have any questions, please let me know also. Miss Tiros, are you on a computer or on your phone?
On my iPad.
On your iPad. Okay, I'm not sure how it works on the iPad. I have not used the iPad with this.
Okay, I'll go to my computer then. Thank
Okay,
you.
sorry about that.
Thank you.
I'm gonna try logging in with the phone. That way I can see. On the phone, which it might be the same with the iPad, you go to slides and then you have to go, you're able to access the slides that I just covered. And then you can see the passage from there. And then go to focus, and then that's where you're able to write, or sorry, to type. It's a little harder. It's not as easy as with the computer. I'm gonna give about 30 more seconds, guys. 30 more seconds. At first, 5 minutes is going to be a very short time for your students to be typing. Once they get more comfortable, they might be able to go to like 6, 7 minutes. That's the lowest that I was able to get it at with them. So at the beginning, it is going to take them a while. They're practicing typing, they're reading, they're answering. So it does take a while to get used to. Okay, so here you're going to be waiting. Once you click on give feedback on this classroom screen, that's when the students are going to be able to see their remarks. Okay, I do not answer anything, so it can't give me any feedback. But if you notice, as a teacher in the classroom screen, you're able to see everybody's responses, and you can choose one. At this point, some students might say, "Oh, that's mine," right? Be like, "That's fine." They can say that. Some of them are proud of it, or want their classmates to know that it's theirs, and that's perfectly fine. It's up to you how you want to handle that, right? But the beauty of it is that nobody needs to know. And this is where editing constructive criticism starts working, where they're not just getting feedback from AI, they're getting feedback from the teacher and their classmates. Okay. So this one, if you notice it right off the bat, it looks pretty good. They didn't get to finish. Okay. So they got a 0. It says include more evidence from the text to support your answer, and then try to add more details from the text to explain why national parks are important. For example, you mentioned, and I like that it's specific and it's telling you exactly what you said, right? So for example, you mentioned beautiful views, but you can also talk about how they protect nature or help people learn. Now, the feedback here is very important for the next activity that follows this. Okay, so this is where students are really going to, you can have them write what they can do better, how they can improve it. Okay, there's lots of options. This one scored a 1. The other one looked a lot more, and this is where that conversation happens. Just because you write a lot doesn't mean that you're writing it correctly. So here, this is a 1. Now, all it says is one reason national parks are important is because they protect nature. In paragraph 3, it says, these parks are safe homes for many animals, including some that are endangered. So include more than one reason why national parks are important. Try to add another reason from the text to support your answer. Look for different parts. So although they scored 1, they can still do better. Okay. The next activity is here is they're really going to, your students are going to be able to know how they can improve, right? So how can you improve what you wrote based on your feedback? So this is them kind of having to internalize it and having to really read that feedback. So I'm just gonna give you guys 20 seconds for this. Okay, so based on what your feedback said, how can you improve for next time? Okay, a lot of them was use evidence from text and then something else completely. Then your students will have another opportunity to try again. So if they got a 0, their goal is now to get a 1, and you already had all these conversations. They got to see other students' work that were 1s, 2s, maybes. We had conversations on how they can improve theirs or how their classmates can improve theirs. So they have now more of I guess knowledge behind that. Okay, we're not going to do this part of it, but you would let them revise it, and then hopefully they're able to show that growth. If they had 0 points, maybe now they have 1 point. If they have 1 point, maybe now they get 2 points. And then at the end, just as a little brain break, because it is a lot of writing and a lot of thinking for them, right? They design a bumper sticker that illustrates your response. So they just draw, they kind of just, it's a quick brain break, and they're able to vote for their favorite one. Kids love this part of it, okay? So although yes, they're having to write and do all of that, you want to still give them some chance to kind of just be like, whew, we just did that, right? Um, any questions so far? So far? Okay.
I have a
Now,
question.
okay, yes.
I wanted to know, you know how in SER, it's like just one reason, and
Yes,
now the feedback is asking for more evidence. That means another reason. Um, could we fix that, or is it upon us, or is it that like the template, or?
that's with the template. That's just the way Curie Pod is set up. Um, it's more getting them to write in detail and having them know the different um reasons for it. Not all of your stories are going to have more than one reason. So I guess it just depends on the passage that you get. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, and I'm thinking maybe like just practice, because it could be one. I could tell them, you know what? It's actually two. You're answering actually two. It's like two parts. It's like if you're putting two answers, but you're getting
Mhm.
credit like for one, let's say.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So it it varies. I've had some where I did it that it approved the one because there was only one evidence for it. And then others like this one that there was multiple evidence that they just wanted them, they're asking for more so that the students are aware that maybe you don't have to just get um there's not just one answer sometimes to it. You can get from multiple areas. But good question. Thank you for that. And then you're able to see the report, okay? This one was from a different one that we did. And sorry, it hasn't loaded the one that we just did right now. It's going to take, it does take some time to load it. But I can just show you guys the way it will look. You're able to see their answer and then what the feedback gave them here. So you can bring them in during intervention. You can talk to them one-on-one. Okay, how can we fix this? Look, this is what you did. I want you to work on this. Okay. Let me see. The free version, I have the free version of Curie Pod. So when you log in, you're going to get the free version of Curie Pod. The thing about Curie Pod's free version is that you're very limited on what you can do. The reason I have some other ones is because throughout the school year last year, they opened up randomly without letting anyone know, like without notifying. So it was just so happened that I was logged in that day and I saw that they opened up, they gave access to the free members for something else. Okay. But for the free version, well, right now, if you all can go on to curiepod.com, and if you do not have an account, if you can create an account, just with your school, with your Gmail is fine. Create an account. If you can just send like a quick react or something, just so I know that you're logged into the Cruipod already, and then we can work on creating a Cruipod together. Thank you, Ms. Gomez. Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Thank you, Ms. Torres. Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Does anyone need me to wait for them? Are you having difficulty trying to get in, or? Okay, those of you who are logged in order for to work on an SER, go ahead and go to generate lesson. And here you're going to describe what lesson that you're going to work on. Specifically, sorry, here, go to test prep. Test prep. If you notice, you can do Telpas. I haven't tried race. This is new. This wasn't here last year, so I'm not sure how that works. I would always just stick to star. There's different subjects. We're doing RLA. And if you notice the ones with the crown right here with the question type, the ECR and the revising sentences are blocked right now. They are for the subscribers, okay? Unfortunately, you cannot purchase a plan by yourself. It does have to be a campus plan, okay? I know sometimes as teachers, we see something and we just purchase it for ourselves. With this one, you can't, it needs to be a campus plan. But like I said, last year they opened these up randomly for the free plan to try it out. So hopefully they do that again this year. So we're going to stick to the short constructed response. If this would, again, with the paid account, you are able to use the materials. So that would be really neat also, because you can include the passages that the district provides for us and then create your SERs, ECRs with that and be able to grade it like that. But I don't have access to that. So we're just gonna create with AI. The genres, right now, that's only informational. Again, they did open up randomly the other two, so just keep an eye out for that. I teach fourth grade, so I'm just gonna do fourth grade. You're more than welcome to do the grade level that you teach. If you teach anything lower, I would just stick to third grade. You search your topic for your passage. My students last year loved giving me different topics of what they wanted, and that was really neat because it made it more engaging for them. They were able to vote for it. But Taylor Swift is a pretty hot topic right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and that's what I want my topic to be about. And then you're able to choose what skill you want students to use the evidence for. So support and inference, determine the controlling idea or thesis, explain the author's purpose, determine key idea and events, synthesize information to create new understanding, or determine the meaning of an academic word or phrase. Okay. I'm just going to work on author's purpose. And then you click on generate lesson. Okay. On this first slide, I always like to put, because then all you're going to have is informational passage and you're not going to know what it's about. So I like to put what the passage is about. So Taylor Swift. Okay. This is how it's done for you. You can always edit to make it fit what you want. Okay. You can delete, you can add, however you want to do this. So the first slide is the introduction, what we're doing. Second slide is the objective part of it. Third slide is your passage. Click on it. I like to pre-read it. Sometimes it is AI. AI is not, it makes mistakes. And you're able to edit anything. If you want to add more to it, you can add more to it. You can edit, you can fix it up however you would like. Okay. I am not going to do that right now. I'm just going to click save. I just wanted to show you guys that you can do that. And you can always go back and edit one and then view it also. Your open-ended question, what is something that you relate to in the text? Again, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. You can change the activity. You can add an activity over here. Okay, a word cloud, a drawing, however you want. And then the question is, what is the author's purpose for writing about Taylor Swift's music career in this passage? Support your answer with evidence from the text. So that's their SER. It'll provide feedback for them. They'll get their poll of how they think or what they have to do to improve. Then again, they'll be able to rewrite it to see how they improved and then design a bumper sticker that illustrates your response. Usually they're like this. Again, you can change your drawing activity. You can change it to an open-ended question. It is up to you. It is customizable. For the sake of time, I usually just leave it as it is. It's been working. And if it's been working, I'm not going to change it. Okay. That's my philosophy, at least, because there's a lot of things that we have to do. And then you'll have your axis here. In the chat, I had already included it, but I'm going to add it again, is the link to the presentation. On the link to the presentation, okay, you'll have my information. If you ever need to get a hold of me, please let me know. But you'll also have samples because you're able to share with your colleagues the essays that you have, or sorry, the ECRs, SERs, and the revising and editing that you have worked on. So if you click on any of the of the designs, you're able to click on it. Click the link, it'll take you, and you're able to start that lesson, and you'll have access to it now. Okay. So I'm sharing a informational SER for back to school, a revising and editing. This is for grammar, and it's on video games. With the revising and editing, what I like is that one of the activities that gives you feedback is a revising one. And then your second activity is going to be combining sentences. And that's usually the one that they really struggle with. So I like that it gives them the opportunity to revise and to combine sentences, and it provides feedback for them. You'll get an argumentative ECR about electric cars, and then your fiction SER, and it's about a mystery backpack. Again, the revising and editing, the fiction, and the argumentative, I got lucky and it was open during that time and I was able to create one. This is fourth grade, but you're just trying, if you're in the upper grades or even in the lower grades, you're just trying to get the students to write. You can edit and then change some of the wording so that it's more fit for your age group. But the writing portion of it, the writing question itself is going to be the same across the board. Do y'all have any questions for me? Y'all can create, right now is the time you create your own lessons. You can start creating your own lessons. If you have questions while you're doing that, please let me know. I'll be here to answer any questions that you may have. You can start saving, clicking on those samples and start saving them onto your Curie Pod. That way you have access to them next year, or sorry, this year.